Welcome everyone to the Improvised generation on screen. This is a special episode of the Improvised generation on screen. Uh, let's call it an aperitif pair of episodes. Just a little bit, you will have Ask a Klingon with two of our amazing cast members, Laurie Jones and Lisette John Marie. But first, we have a little bit of an experiment called Two-Man Trek with myself, Scott Palmason, and the incomparable Mr. Paul Vanasek. It'll be a two-person improvised generation on-screen episode. Each of these episodes, each of these aperitifs will go for about 30 minutes-ish. And to get Paul and I started, to get Paul and me started, I guess, it's the predicate of the sentence, English major. Let's get a suggestion in the chat. A suggestion of why two people might be stranded together, stuck together. And while we wait for those suggestions, I want to give a shout out to our amazing tech improvisers improvising alongside us, Allison and Rachel. We could not do this without you. And a reminder, we will be here every Saturday until the end of time, or most likely December 12th. One of those two statements is true. So do we have a suggestion for the first ever two-man trek? Suggestion we have, I love it, is Broken Elevator. Without further ado, the Improvised Generation on Screen presents Two-Man Trek.
Denton to engineering. Denton to bridge. I don't know. It's not working, man.
Try it again. Dr. Alistair Scott to bridge. Dr. Alistair Scott to engineering.
We're not going to make it. We're going to be late. And we're going to miss it.
Wait, we're not going to miss anything, Flack. We have been in this situation before. But two grown men stuck in a situation, just like when we were on Pilar 4. You remember Pilar 4, don't you?
Do I ever remember Pilar 4? I think it took me about 4 or 5 showers to get over that.
I remember the Polarians looked at you and said, "Oh, no, 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 no. You don't negotiate with us, Ensign Flack Danton."
But we did. We negotiated. But you're distracting me. You're too positive, okay? Tonight, I had my heart set on tonight. This was a big night. It's karaoke night. It's the first ever. Finally, they agreed to let us have a karaoke night. And I'm not even going to be there to host it.
Look, I realize how important this is to you. I mean, I remember your first week on the ship. I heard you humming a little tune. Remember? I heard that. Yeah, I heard that. And you know, I have to admit, I admire it. I admire the fact that you don't lose that part of yourself, Flack, that childlike wonder. Because a lot of people do. And although there are worse things than missing a karaoke night, I know how much this meant to you.
Well, thank you, Dr. Scott. It's just tonight was a little bit bigger than just a usual karaoke night. I'm going to tell you something, and if we get out of this, you can't tell anybody for the rest of the night. Invited to the karaoke tonight were ambassadors from Sarkovian 2. And we've been working on peace deals with them. And it wasn't going anywhere until we found out just how much they admired music. And I was hoping that tonight could seal that deal. But I'm stuck here.
You're telling me there are ambassadors from Sarkovian 2 on this ship right now?
That's exactly what I'm telling you, Dr. Scott.
That would probably mean a promotion for you.
Promotion? No, I'm not thinking about a promotion. I'm thinking about all of those, the people in the war camps on Sarkovia 2. I'm thinking about all of the unrest on that planet. And we have these two people, these two Sarkovian ambassadors that could make a difference. I'm sorry, I know I'm getting heated. It's just, for some reason, we were sitting at the table weeks ago, trying to make a new negotiation. And then during the break, I heard one of them humming. And then I heard the other one tapping their toe under the table. And at first I thought it was maybe some sort of code. At first I thought we were about to get ambushed, Dr. Scott. But then they started harmonizing together. And then there it was. Big night. This was a big night.
Flack, it's okay to have a big heart for what's happening there and also want a promotion. You're telling me there's not a small part of you that wishes you were up there right now? Possibly adding a pip to your collar?
Well, I mean, yeah, I would take a pip. I mean, I've been on the McGinley for years now, and there's even a new crop of people that have come in, and they're incredible. They're an incredible crop of people, and they're already surpassing me, and I know this. And I know that my spot...
Nobody else is here. It's just you and me, okay? It's just Alistair and Flack, because at this point, there is no communication. I don't have sickbay. I just have you. And you just have me. What do you want, Flack? When you get out of this elevator, what do you want?
I want to keep making a difference. I mean, that first year on the McKinley with you and with Deadman and everybody, every single day we were doing something grand and huge and making connections across the entire universe. And the past couple of years, I've been sitting at a desk. And I don't know. And that's an important job too. I just know that, but I see the looks. I know that I might not be long for this ship. And I was thinking that tonight might make that difference, but you don't know what I'm talking about. You're Dr. Alistair Scott. Everybody loves Dr. Scott. I mean, not only do you mend people's bodies, you mend relationships across solar systems. You've used tricorders and you've used phasers. You've used everything. Dr. Scott, you're a legend. Are you aware of that? Nobody's going to take your spot.
Nothing's guaranteed, Flack. Nothing.
Denton to karaoke room. Denton to karaoke room. Okay.
When I was a kid, Yeah, I never thought I would recover from being crushed by that tractor. My parents were gone. I was with a new family in a strange new country. Who I am now is not just Dr. Alistair Scott. It's that boy you didn't know. That boy you didn't know what was up and what was down. We didn't know what love might look like again. Who didn't know he would meet a beautiful woman by the name of Georgia Thompson on his first day of Starfleet? On the other side of this, I want you to remember that nothing is promised, Flack. And we're not perfect. Jack's not, George is not, I'm not. Well, you don't repeat this to anyone, but we make mistakes. We are, forgive the term, human.
Yeah, you're right. I'm just gonna have to try to remember that because I feel like I'm in purgatory right now. I mean, I have great company, I'll admit that, but oh, wait a second. You talk about Georgia Thompson, Captain Georgia Thompson, very highly, Dr. Scott. Is there more than the usual reason for that?
Yeah, nothing more than the story we've already written for ourselves. Two command officers who were once in love and may still love each other still, but who are now commanding a ship together, taking care of the sick, exploring strange new worlds instead of each other.
My God. You have a way with words, Doctor.
Did you ever read comic books when you were a boy, Flack?
Did I ever read comic books? I loved them so much I tried to make my own on the back of the newspapers. My parents used to keep old printed newspapers from hundreds of years ago, and somehow they're still intact. And there was this cat that just would always get into trouble. And then after getting into trouble, this cat, I can't remember his name, it was Gerald or something. And then at the end, he wouldn't apologize, he'd just eat his lasagna. Lasagna, a cat of all things.
I don't think the replicator makes good lasagna. I feel safe to say that in front of you. It's nothing like the old Italians would make in Ontario. And we had Italians up there, Flacky. Don't think it was just a bunch of Mounties, and we had deep roots, but ugh. I think about the comics, and I think about Superman and his duty and his sense of having to save everyone, and how he never really gets to spend time with Lois. And I can't help but think about our own position on a ship. We're here to serve, we're here to be explorers, to be a part of something bigger than ourselves. And yet sometimes I want to be just a regular Clark Kent who loves a Lois Lane. I'm not making any sense.
Are you kidding me? Of course you're making sense. You're speaking directly to my heart. There are things I want to do once we get out of this turbo lift. That's a fact. I've made it very clear. There are things that are very important to do, but what is the purpose? I've told you the purpose for the sake of all Sarkovians, yes, but also to do this for myself, to be a purpose. Doing good for ourselves can help us make good elsewhere. So if there's someone else on this ship, Dr. Scott, who lights you up inside and gives you the strength to step out of that phone booth and fly through Metropolis and all around, then you have to pursue that. If we ever get out of this turbo lift, Dr. Scott, imagine that this isn't just a turbo lift, this is a tomb. This is a sarcophagus. But we have a chance to get out. And if you could do one thing when you get out of this, what would it be?
All right. On the count of 3, jump.
Okay.
1, 2, 3. Did it shift? It shifted.
I think I was off time.
All right. Hold my hand.
Okay.
The count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Wait.
Okay, it's gonna happen. I felt a little bit of a shift. Oh, wait, this is a turbo lift. It goes sideways as well.
It does? How do I not know that?
Yeah, but these are facts of engineering. I remember Boots talking about that. A turbo lift, specifically the one on the McGinley, she retrofitted it to go up, down, left, right, side and side diagonally.
So if we push on one side, you're saying it could be jarred a bit. This feels so, what, are we back at Starfleet? Are we just 2 freshmen trying to get out of a stuck elevator? This is ridiculous.
This is exactly what we are. We're just a couple of kids at the beginning of Starfleet. We don't have years under our belt. We don't have mistakes behind us. We don't have pieces of pride behind us. We just have our future. We have our hopes. Dr. Scott, if we get out of this, I want you to sing tonight at the karaoke bar. I want your voice to be what the Starkovians hear, because when you were talking to me about Georgia, and you were talking to me about what it means to be someone on the inside, doing something good on the outside, I want them to hear that. Will you please do it? Unless you have answered the question I asked earlier, which is, what's the thing you want to do when you get out of this?
See, I was going to ask you the same question, my friend. I could make a deal to approach another crew member if I so felt inspired to. But I would ask you the same thing. I want you to take care of you too. I want you to, when we get out of here, I want the Sarkovians to hear exactly what you want, because it's not selfish to do the good, but also to say, I am Flack Danton, and here's where I want to move forward in Starfleet. Here's the way I would like to move up. That is not selfish, Flack. That is you.
All right, I'll do it. I'll put it all on the table. You know, I'm not the kind of person like Deadman who could just swagger into a room with bravado and confidence and just speak in sentences that are smaller than 12 syllables and just get his point across completely. Pure confidence, that guy. Instead,
Flack. Deadman was terrible at Starfleet. For a good year, I thought he couldn't speak. It doesn't happen overnight. You gotta fake it. You gotta walk like Cary Grant, even if you're not Cary Grant.
Cary Grant, he was the man in the pictures, the one who was a pet detective, I think. Yeah, Cary Grant. That's confidence.
Yes, it's confidence. Now, I want you to take that confidence. I'll take my heart and let's find a wall to push on. How about that?
Wait. What are you going to do when you get out of this?
What are you gonna do when we get out of this?
Dr. Scott, God damn it. You know exactly what I'm gonna do, all right? I'm gonna take your advice, I'm gonna step up, and I'm gonna
You know exactly what I'm gonna do. You know exactly what I'm gonna do.
No, I don't, because you haven't expressed it yet.
I'm gonna tell that woman that I love her, and you are going to get a pip on your collar.
Okay, Dr. Scott. Let's make this turbo lift jump.
Push! Push! Keep pushing, Flack. Keep pushing.
Come on. Come on. Come on, little Flacky. Let's do this!
Oh.
Oh.
Oh. Oh. Yes. Yes, we are men. We are men, and we did it. Oh, I don't think I've ever said that phrase so vigorously. I feel like we should go chop wood or something.
Yes. I feel like I could eat 8 lasagnas just like Gerald the cat.
I feel like
Dr. Scott.
I feel like a Bronco-esque Cary Grant with the confidence of a Hercules. That's what I feel like.
I feel like an Andovian wormlet who's just sprouted through his pupa and he's seeing the sun for the first time.
Oh, Flack. Oh. Well, I guess that's that, huh? Once we get up there, we have our orders.
Yeah. We have our orders. Dr. Scott, everything I said about you and what you mean to this ship and to me personally, I meant every word. You're an inspiration. And that's because your heart is so clearly leaping out of your chest. Don't keep that heart to yourself.
Flack, I am who I am because of my crew and my friends. Because of the heart of people and ensigns like you. And don't doubt that you can be that greatness that you see in me. Promise?
Promise.
After you.
Thank you, Doctor.
Thank you guys for watching Two-Man Trek. I loved that. So fun. And stay tuned because Ask a Klingon is next. And I don't know much about being a Klingon, but I think that you're going to get really good advice if you ask Klingon questions about your personal life. So why don't you go ahead right now and start in the chat and just type some personal questions, and you're going to get some great answers. So stay tuned for that, and we'll see you shortly. Thank you so much again for doing this. This has been an exciting idea of mine for a long time.
Oh, I really appreciate that you included me. I have to say, I love how many hobbies people on this crew have. There are stage plays, there are concerts, and now this, a replica radio show from the 20th century. Amazing.
I mean, I agree with you. The talent on this ship is it's pretty impressive, and quite frankly, I've been trying to figure out where my niche is in that, because everyone with the karaoke and remind me your hobbies.
My hobbies, well, I guess I'm one of those people who have made my hobbies my career. I used to build little rockets and make science experiments on my free time, my hobby. Now, ever since I've gotten on this ship, I suppose I don't have a real hobby anymore.
Well, you know what? I think we might be finding it right now. We might be finding it. And I'll tell you this. If you think you have a hobby in the future, well, I'll just go ahead and I'll do it with you. That's a promise.
Thank you. You're very kind. Oh,
Thank you.
well, it looks like some crew members have actually started sending in questions and are waiting for us to go live. Do you want to go live, Nurse Culverson?
I'm ready. I'm ready for my intro. So just let me know. Just give me a point, like they do when you're ready for me to go.
Oh, of course. Got it. I'll introduce you and then point. Hello. Welcome to Mara Culverson Solves Your Life. You are now listening to it. Am I doing this right? Okay. And you will now have your life changed forever.
This is me, Nurse Mara Culverson, and I am going to change your life. Now, I have always found that Klingons and nurses answer questions the best because they care about you and they are not going to lie to you. So those two things together equal life-changing advice. So what is our first question, producer?
Absolutely. We have a question from a listener calling herself Georgia Peach. She asks, how do you deal with people constantly trying to steal your joy?
Oh my goodness. Well, if someone's trying to steal your joy, well, I mean, you're just gonna have to punch that in the face, figuratively, because that cannot happen. Joy is the best thing in the world. You want to give other people joy. And so if someone's going to be selfish and rude enough to take away your joy, well, I'll tell you this, Peach, you take that person and you metaphorically punch it in the face
until they are sorry about that. So you have to do that in a way, of course, that doesn't take away their joy. And you can do that, I think, because you're a peach.
That was great. That was great.
Mhm.
We have another question from I'm Roar OMG. Are there any Klingon dishes that you would recommend replicating?
Oh well, funny enough, so I'm a half Klingon, half human, and I was raised in South Carolina. So quite frankly, I don't know a lot of Klingon cuisine, but in terms of replicating meals, oh gosh, I mean, I would say nothing like mashed potatoes, turnip greens, and broccoli casserole. Thank you.
Not traditionally Klingon, but hey, the world's full of surprises, I always say. We have another question from I'm Nopey. How do you deal with disobedient children?
Well, this is the thing. I think it is extreme compassion and protectiveness that I think you gotta love fiercely, and disobedient children don't expect to be loved fiercely. And I have always found with people that I love that they are just a little bit afraid of me. And I don't always know why, but I think that it's effective in getting people to do what you want them to do. So, a little bit of loud love, basically. So, stop doing that. I love you. I love you. Is I most of the time I've noticed people just stop in their tracks right there. And so outside of that, an enormous amount of physical exercise, because at some point they're going to be too tired to be disruptive. So long runs, a little bit of bat lift training, sometimes just just aerobics in the house. I believe that's someone's hobby. Ilaria Vina is pretty great with her dance moves, and so I would probably just send them over to her if they were on the McGinley. Otherwise, I'm sure you can find someone in your community that does some type of aerobic activity.
We got another question from I effing love whiskey. Skincare question mark. I think they mean you have wonderful skin and they want to know your skincare routine.
Yes, thank you. Thank you. It is extensive. You might look at me and think she doesn't care about how she looks, but the truth is, yeah, she does. She does care. And if my forehead has any sort of additional creases, I'm just kidding. Those I like. So what I do is I just take a bunch of mayonnaise and I rub it all over my face, and that you can get replicated like that, and it's great if you have dry skin. If you have oily skin, then I would say don't put mayonnaise on your face.
I'm already running out to the replicator to make mayonnaise. You've convinced me. You've convinced me completely.
I mean, you'll be glistening more than you could ever imagine. More than you could ever imagine. It's amazing too, because I've done a lot of research on this time period, the time period of when these shows took place, these advice shows, and people spent hundreds and hundreds of dollars on eye care cream, and you could have just used mayonnaise. So it's funny. Retrospective things are funny to me. I
Yes.
think this is going so well, right?
It's going wonderfully. You have a great on-air personality. Oh, you know what? Was I supposed to press a button when I'm just speaking
Oh.
to you? I don't know. I really don't know how this works. I know how a warp engine works. This microphone confuses me. But we have, we'll roll with it. Duncan Idaho 11 asks, "The blood of my enemies no longer fills me with the fury. I'm afraid that I am losing the heart of a warrior. What should I do?" That is how I imagined they said this when they wrote it.
Oh, well, I thought that was a terrific reading. The truth is, I mean, that is worrisome. That is worrisome. If the blood of your enemies no longer fills you with fury, well, I guess I'd have to ask you. So let's, as they say, zoom out. Let's zoom out. Or have your enemies changed? Or are they less of a threat? Have they invited you to dinner? And if any of those things are true, then I would say that's outstanding. There are times for war and fight. There are times for peace and prosperity. Hey, if this is a peace and prosperity time, Duncan, lean in. I'd say lean in. But let's just say, is your enemy still doing really bad things to you? Have they captured your family, etc.? And if that has happened, then I think that a good night's sleep, some rest, and some food, that fury is going to come back. I bet you're just depleted. Duncan. You've got this, and I believe in you. But I'm hoping your enemies have become your friends and there's peace and prosperity. Yes, good luck, Duncan.
Oof. You're just inspiring me with every piece of advice that because who does not become tired of waging all kinds of war, whether it's the war with self to wake up in the morning and exercise, or the war for the extension of freedom for all. So to connect with our warrior and keep fighting. It's advice we all need.
Oh, absolutely. I think you're absolutely right. And fury, fury is an interesting word, right? Because, fury can be a good thing. You can clean with fury, right? I find I do most things with fury and I'm happy. And I'm sure most people agree with that.
More people should agree with that anyway.
I heard that some people drink on air, so I've decided I'm going to lean in and do that with fury.
That's great. Oh, new question from Sheil Was. What does your self-care routine look like? So you talked about skincare earlier, but how do you relax yourself? How do you center yourself? How do you give a gift of serenity? That was me.
I love this question. I love this question because I think it's important for everyone to do the thing that helps them the most without doing the thing that allows them to escape, right? Because sometimes you need to escape, right? But that's not every day. Every day is a different kind of self-care. So what I like to do is I like to go to the holodeck and I like to do an extensive bat lift program where I beat to death someone that I imagine needs to die, and that's helpful. And then what I do is I bring them back to life. I bring them back to life as a nurse, so that they're also fine. And so I can get out my rage. I can get out the rage that's needed, but I can also focus on my healing at a time where I'm still feeling rage, and I feel elated after that. So then I like to do a day spa if possible. So that's not daily, but that is that's periodically a good day spa, also in the holodeck. So the full treatment, mud baths, etc. And so bat lift training, and and then when I can, I like to connect with my family because I love them so much. And sometimes I do that while I'm fighting someone. My goodness, the things you shouldn't say on air.
A warrior is never a murderer, right?
That's right. That's right. You know, that should be our slogan. We'll have a slogan for this in the future. So yes. So I think that about answers your question. I think I would say in terms of how I can help your life, you do you, right? But do it with passion and lean in.
Wonderful. Beautiful advice as always, Mara. Oh, we have another question from someone calling themselves Lurg Meow Meow. He says, I want to be more organized, but can't find the motivation. What's your advice?
Yeah, my advice is just do it. You know, you want to be motivated, do it. You know, choose it. Choose it, her. The meow meow. What was this person's name?
Lurg Meow Meow?
Yes. Yes. So get up and make a choice, and that's the only thing you have to do today. Okay. So do it on a day where you have a personal day, and then the only thing you have to do today is make the choice to get organized. Okay. And then I think you can really accept it. And I would say small things every day. Small things every day. So don't decide, hey, I'm going to organize my entire personal quarters today. You're not, her, meow meow. You're not going to do it. So I want you to get up in the morning, look beside you, look at your side table. Your side table you can do in a day. And that's it. Give yourself some slack. By the end of the week, you're going to be an organized person. And then you got to stick with it. Stick with it. If you ever need more motivation, you come to me. Okay? I'll tell you got to do it.
Can I just tell you, my side table is never organized. Just can't do it. Can't keep it clean.
You know, I have to be honest with you. Mine's not either, but that's not something I care about. So, you know, you just pick the things you care about and you do those.
Oh, exactly. Oh, we have some previously sent questions, I see. There was one by someone calling themselves Froshy Lynn, saying, looking to get more experimental with recently married spouse, advice on broaching the subject. I'm guessing he means sexually.
Great. Okay. I actually love answering sexual questions about people's marriages because I have a lot of opinions on it. So I think if you want to do some role play, look, just bring the costumes in. Come in costume. It better be good. So make a good choice about it. But then something she can't refuse. You know, I would say, what is she like? What does she like? What does she like? And do that, right? If you got a fantasy, that's second. Okay, that's second. What does she want? Do that. Okay? Yeah. What does he want, right? Whoever this is, you know. And you know, if Boots or if the other party is satisfied by what you've delivered, I think you're going to see some fun interaction in return. You're welcome for that. Now, you can quote me on that, and I actually do very much so want to know how that goes. So tell me later.
I think we're all curious to find out about whoever this is. Looks like, oh, we have a new one on that note. What's the best place on the starship to fool around?
Yes. So Stick Bay is better than you think it would be because of the beds. But truth be told, of course, it's 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 the holodeck because you can go anywhere. So speaking of fantasies, you just program that right up, and then you get to go there. So always that. And then if you are less imaginative, personal quarters in a pinch. But I think that that's going to be the most exciting places in terms of programs. you know, uh, we got an active volcano program, and you think that'd be scary, but the fear actually. The fear actually makes it better. So whoever's asking this question, I'm assuming they're wanting to take more risks, and I would say go for it. I would say go for those risks, right? Because life's short, and if you haven't made love by an active volcano, well, you might be missing out.
I mean, wow. This makes so much sense why the floors of the holodeck are constantly being cleaned. Huh.
Yes, yes,
Huh.
that is that is why.
Just explained so much that is now definitely canon. Okay. Looks like we have another previously sent question from someone calling themselves dead as a doornail, comma, man. Um, I was virile in my youth. Many women liked me and I like them. I still do, but I'm not up to the challenge as often. Health tips?
Yes. So whoever this is, assuming that is this person wants to remain anonymous. I'm assuming they could be one of my colleagues that is having to work now, because those are the people who would have sent questions previously. But I will say, you know, it actually is okay, because in your youth it may have been obnoxious, and now you may be finding a balance. So I don't know how to help you exactly. Medically, I can probably give you a couple of things, but you're gonna have to come visit me and ask for it, and we'll talk about it. But I think the truth is, you just got to accept it, because it's your life may be a little bit more balanced and a little bit more fulfilled. And I would say, probably knowing you, whoever this is, hey, you got another adventure ahead that doesn't have to do with a dozen sexual partners. So I mean, I feel like that's a good thing. You may be grieving, but I think that's a good thing. Straight from me, Mark Culverson will change your life.
Wow. Again, you're knocking this out of the park, Mara. Amazing
Well,
advice.
thank you so much.
I'm looking at another previously sent question. It's by someone calling themselves Oh Smiley. They're saying, I'm not sure if people like me. I try to be likable, but then I'm constantly afraid people are hanging out without me, and I'm nervous about everything. And do people like me? Do you like me? Do you think I'm a likable person?
Oh gosh. Okay, I'll tell you, this question makes me infuriated. It makes me infuriated. So I I don't know who you are, okay? Uh I am sure people like you, but I need you to care less. I need you to like you. Do you like you? Do you like you? Do you? If you like you, we'll like you. If you like you, we will like you. Okay? So if you can just come to grips with who you are without needing constant affirmation and reassurance that you're a nice person, You are, okay? But be okay with your own choices, and then the rest of it's gonna come naturally. And if it doesn't, find a new group of friends, right? Okay? I mean, I hate sometimes Mara's gotta give you some tough love. Tough love. And then that time's right now. So I hope that wasn't too passionate for you. And if it wasn't passionate enough, well, you just make an appointment with me in sick bay and we'll talk about it some more. I'm happy to yell at you. Thank you.
All right. It looks like we have time for a couple more questions.
Too much, too strong, too.
Oh, not at all. Not at all. Right on. I mean, he needed to hear that. Or, he, as in whoever sent that, obviously we're not sure. We don't know. These are anonymous names. So I was going to say to anyone listening now live, if you have any burning questions, send them in now. Looks like we have time for just a couple more. I effing love whiskey asked, how do you choose what you want to do in life?
Oh, wow. Now, as much as I was mad at this last question, I really love this question because it's difficult. I'm wondering, the person that's asking, if the problem is that you like to do too many things, then how do you decide? Or if you don't have enough of anything you like. If it's the first one, I would say, not everybody has to choose. I mean, I have a specialty, right? I'm a nurse. That's my specialty. But not everybody has to be a specialist. You can be a generalist. If you want to do 3 things, you know what? Do it. Do it. Do those things. If you want to be a writer and you want to work at a spa and you want to make road signs for a living, then why not? I think everyone constrains us, right? They say, what do you want to be when you grow up? Like that has to be your whole identity. It doesn't. It doesn't. You want to do a lot? Do a lot. You do you. I effing love whiskey. You know what? If you want to love whiskey, you want to make whiskey, do it. Do it. You can do whatever you want. Now, if you can't decide like what you want to do because you don't have enough motivation, I would say look at Hermia, right? She just said yes today to do a radio show. Why not, right? I just say yes to several things and then see what sticks. And say yes once, and if you don't like it, okay, move on, not for you. But then you might say yes just at the right time, and then it's exactly the right whiskey, and you just keep ordering it.
Oh, wow. I feel motivated to make whiskey, and I only drink mixed cocktails. So, whew, powerful.
A powerful question. I would just say that most of these inspired answers from me have just come from the fact that, well, I'm good at this, and the questions were outstanding.
Well said. Well said. I think this will be our last question, and looks like it's a bit of a fun one. A previous contributor, Lurg Meow Meow, asks, Mary F. Kill, Captain Kirk, Ambassador Spock, or Captain Picard? Seems like we have a real Starfleet history nerd here.
Well, that is really, really interesting. So it's Kirk, Spock, and Picard, right?
Yes.
Oh yes. Well, this is I love this question. I would actually love to know anyone else's opinion. I would say go ahead and type that out. I want to know that for later. That's for my reading later. And for me, oh well, this is a toughie. This is a real toughie. But I'm sorry. I'm sorry to everybody about this, but I am going to have to kill Kirk. I'm gonna have to F Picard, and I'm gonna have to marry Spock. Thank you. Final decision. I'm proud of it, and I stick by it.
That was direct and to the point, as you always are, Mara.
I find it's great to be decisive and passionate. I just want to just have a little special thank you to my producer, who I think is the best producer, and I want to thank all of you for listening. I hope I've changed your life. You've certainly changed mine, and I have a feeling we'll be back for more great advice in the future.
Thank you to everyone for listening. This has been Mara Culverson Helps Your Life. They used to have theme songs as they exited.
Thank you guys so much for watching. I had a real blast doing that. Thank you to Lisette, who nailed it, made that very fun for me. So I really appreciate that indulgence, and I not wait to do it again. And also special thanks to Paul and Scott, Rachelle and Allison and Hector, who are all working on the show today too. Please keep following us on Outpost 13, and do some fun celebrating today for whatever things you got to celebrate. Yeah, and have a great one. See you later.